all of our young subscribers that saw our humping video.
Oh gosh.
You guys are the only people watching this right now.
Okay.
All right. Happy New Year. It is now 2020, and we wanted to make a video that goes back and looks at our favorite films from the previous year, so 2019. We are going to share with you our top 10 and kind of talk about the things that we liked about the movies, and also about the movies that we both like together.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe tell you our top 3 out of our top 10.
Yeah.
We'll see where this goes.
Okay, so I'll go first.
Okay.
So my top 10, and this is in order from 1 to 10, were Peanut Butter Falcon, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Avengers and Game, Joker, Us, Little Women, Ready or Not, Knives Out, John Wick 3, and It 2.
All right, cool. So mine were The Peanut Butter Falcon, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Joker, Dr. Sleep, Avengers Endgame, The Lighthouse, Uncut Gems, Knives Out, Honey Boy, and Ready or Not.
So there's a bunch on there that I didn't see, I still haven't seen, that made it onto his top 10 that I just haven't seen yet. I didn't really want to see, or I just haven't seen.
I watch a lot of movies on my own. I have no shame in that. If I want to go see something, I'll go see it, you know?
Yeah.
So we both decided that our favorite movie of the year
Yeah.
was The Peanut Butter Falcon.
Do we have the same first and second?
Yep.
Okay, so we have the same first and second, which are Peanut Butter Falcon and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think I was crying before we even left the movie theater, but I cried for like 10 minutes after we left.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I was filled with so many good feelings, and it was inspiring, and it was, I don't know, I just feel like there should be more movies made like that in the world.
It was a very special movie. I think it was something that needed to be made at the time. Shia LaBeouf, I mean, he's making a huge comeback from the things that he's been through in the past decade. But it was just so nice to see him just be this super genuine character. And, you know...
The whole movie was genuine.
Yeah. Behind the scenes, if you were to see him acting with his co-star, you just see how much he loved him, and just there was an actual friendship there. And it was just so nice. And I think that is the main reason why that made it to the top of the list for me, is because it's something it was refreshing. I hadn't seen it.
It was very refreshing.
Done in movies in so long, and it just made me feel really good. Like, I love dark movies and gritty stuff, don't get me wrong, but like, I haven't seen something like this in so long. But it was also at a level that my family could see, but anyone could really enjoy this movie. It's not just this cheesy kind of go see with only your family type movie. And yeah, it was great. I loved it.
And for being such a like just nonchalant movie, I feel like some people still haven't heard of it, or like, I loved it.
Yep.
It was inspiring. It made me feel good. I like movies that are entertaining and like fun to watch and stuff, but the ones that really resonate with me are ones that make me feel certain ways and inspire me. And this inspired me in so many good ways. It made me want to be a better person, and I feel like it would make other people want to be a better person, and that's what life should be about, about being better people. It was sweet, it was tender, it was innocent, but it was also humorous, and I don't know what to again.
And then second on both of our lists is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. We both love Quentin Tarantino, and just his directing style. You can always tell it's a Tarantino movie. And I mean, there have been a lot of people that have been inspired by him in the past few years, but he still just does his thing. And this movie, 2 years ago when I heard about it, when it was just rumors of being a movie about the Manson murders, that was enough to get me excited. But then when I realized that he was turning it into his own spin-off kind of thing where he's bending history and stuff, that's so cool. It was definitely not one of his incredibly violent movies.
It's like the biggest payoff ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, once things get going, once you reach a certain point, it is like it is such a big payoff and like so fulfilling and so satisfying.
The movie is just over 3 hours long. It's a long one, and you definitely have to be a diehard fan for some of these scenes. He's known for his dialogue, and you have to just sit there and kind of appreciate all the set pieces, the incredible acting. Leonardo DiCaprio, he got these enormous A-list actors for this movie, and you just have to sit back and appreciate and just listen to these conversations because they're amazing. And I always think, like, how can you just sit down and think of an entire conversation like that to sound so real but keep you hooked the whole time? So love him for that. And I understand, like, a lot of people thought this was one of his weaker movies, but really he said it was his love letter to Hollywood. So this was during the late 60s, just this huge transition period. Brad Pitt too. You can't forget about Brad Pitt. He freaking stole the show a few times.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I did feel like it was a little drawn out, but I feel like everything was necessary.
A lot of driving around.
A lot of driving.
A
ton of driving and just like stuff while driving. I don't know.
Yeah, that was a big problem for a lot of people, but I always just think, if I were to make a huge set piece, just recreate an entire city, I would want to show it off too.
Yeah.
Great payoff. If you haven't seen it,
so good.
The end is worth it, worth the wait.
It's so good.
Yeah. Why was this second for you? Like, in comparison to Peanut Butter Falcon?
It was more just like entertaining. It didn't make me feel like super strong emotions, I guess.
This is where it starts changing.
Yeah. So my third one was Avengers and Game. It's probably like the most like looked forward to film. We'd been waiting for it for a long time, and we knew big things were going to happen in it, and we were kind of waiting because the one before was a little bit of a cliffhanger kind of.
Huge. Big cliffhanger.
We knew it was going to be good. So my expectations going into it were high, and they were all exceeded though. Like, I feel like I wasn't let down at all by anything. It was emotional. It was hard. I still get like sad thinking about parts of it, but the action was good. The story was good. Everything looked visually very good. I can appreciate a lot the decisions that they made to let certain things go, and it left me a little sad and like nostalgic, which is really good, I think. But it also made me excited for like the future, with the future Marvel movies and future stories, and I felt good coming out of it. Even though some things were hard, I still felt like good about it.
Yeah. And that was another 3 hour long movie, huh?
Yeah. It could have kept going and I would have been okay with it.
It sometimes felt like, I don't know, there's so much story in that movie and all those movies together, and it was like they were trying to tie up a bunch of loose ends, and
there's
so much stuff happening, but really, like, it was the perfect amount, and it was a great movie. I loved it so much. They're doing so many things that normal films aren't doing. When it comes to the amount of following these comic book storylines, they're just like their own thing in my head, and I love them for that. When it comes to Joker, which is my third movie on my list.
So Joker's his third.
Joker did not feel like a superhero movie. It wasn't supposed to.
Not really.
I can just tell when a movie is gonna be really, really good. I've never just like seen a trailer for a movie and thought that's gonna be super good, and then it ends up doing horrible. You have Joaquin Phoenix, you have Todd Phillips. He was the perfect person to play the Joker after Heath Ledger. I feel like I kind of just have to block out the one that was in between them.
Yeah.
It probably still would have done well as a PG-13 movie.
What was it rated R for?
It was rated R. There was language, but it was very disturbing and dark, and the tone, when it was violent, and I really appreciated it for that. It's weird because they did not want to do a sequel to this movie, and I didn't want them to do a sequel to this movie, but it's looking like we might get a sequel to this movie.
So Joker was my number 4. I feel like it beat it because I was like more emotionally invested and like just more invested into Avengers.
Yeah.
And with Joker, I knew it was going to be good, and it was just something I was just kind of waiting to see. I feel like I appreciated it most for all of its other messages that were a part of the movie. The mental health stuff was just shown in such a way that is not usually shown like that, I guess.
Yeah.
And like all the conflict between, like different class systems, and just like the government and the wealthy and the poor and society, and just all these different like hidden agendas and subliminal messages and just issues that the movie addressed. I feel like is what I liked the most about it. Obviously the acting was so good. So good, and I love him so much, and he did so good. And I also feel like a movie a character is very well developed if you feel like sympathetic for the bad guy. I think some people felt uncomfortable. I didn't really feel uncomfortable.
No, his like maniacal laughter, his uncontrollable laughter, and leading to just like these weird choices, like he kills a bunch of people and then he like goes into a bathroom, starts dancing like to like this beautiful music. That's just like one of those scenes that sticks in your head. So out of your 10, what's one movie that just like was a surprise to you? Like you weren't expecting like any specific stuff from it, but like you ended up coming out loving it.
Ready or Not, I feel like.
I knew that would be yours, yeah.
Because literally did we see it in Montana?
We saw that in Hawaii.
We just had time to kill before this flight home, and so we're like, okay, let's just go to the movies. So we went to the movies. We saw that Ready or Not was there. We watched it, and I like loved it, but then afterwards, the more I thought about it, I just like started loving it even more. And like I want to watch it again soon. It just surprised me like how much it resonated with me and how much I like enjoyed it, especially after the fact, like just thinking back on it and how well it was made. And like I love good endings, and the ending I feel like it was so good, and it was surprising, and it was very fun, and
it was a very dark sense of humor that you don't see or hear too often, I feel like, in movies, to where it plays out through the entire thing, and pretty much everyone has this kind of dark, twisted sense of humor. Yeah, the ending, very bold choices were made, and I didn't feel like anything was too far at this point. It was just like we've been through this crazy show, and I was just loving every moment and every choice that was made. And yeah, it was a great movie. It was a big surprise to me as well. I had heard that it was doing well, and like the people that did see it were liking it and stuff, and so I was like, why don't we go see this? And yeah, very different than anything I'd ever seen, for sure. You know, we don't know any of the actors really. I could recognize a couple, but like still, sometimes people go to the movies just to see a specific actor or like set of actors, and you know,
I didn't know any of them.
Yeah.
And I freaking loved it so much.
Yeah, that means that's great.
Yeah. What about you?
If we're talking about like, because I loved Ready or Not, it stuck with me too, and it's just great when a movie can keep you thinking, and Uncut Gems did that for me. I knew the mood and the tone of what I'd be getting from this movie because the trailer did an amazing job. Like, I love Adam Sandler and his dramatic roles. I think people don't give him enough credit because He hasn't done anything very good in a long time, but Punch Drunk Love and Reign Over Me are two that are just great examples of he has some talent, and I think people need to recognize that, and this movie definitely shows that off. I love these directors, the Safdie brothers. They did Good Time, and that's another one of my favorite movies, and they just have this talent where they can take people who aren't even actors and, you know, make them act and be like actually really good. And I was able to see, you know, Kevin Garnett and The Weeknd actually have some talent, and I think that really reflects on how they are as directors. So anyways, Adam Sandler was crazy in it, and he put everything he had into it. The soundtrack was great, just the visuals were great. It's very intense and fast-paced, and I really want to see it again.
I still need to see it.
But yeah, 2019 was a great year for movies, and there are still a few that we need to see. 2020 we hope is going to be another good year for movies, and
I'm excited for Top Gun 2.
Top Gun 2, Quiet Place 2.
We'll see.
Oh, Tenet. Tenet is the big one for me. Christopher Nolan. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
Till next time.
Whenever that may be.
And whatever it may be.
Yeah, who knows.